Alright guys, what I'm doing down here today is cleaning up some of these big beef plants that I got on the trellis that I built. Got some blight issues down here at the bottom, so what I'm doing is coming in here and cutting all the blighted leaves off. We got a chance for rain coming on later on. Throw that worm away. And there's no point in leaving this stuff on the vine only to be spread around by the rain when it gets here, if it gets here. It's been a blessing to me not having the rain, being as how it stayed. The leaves have been able to stay pretty dry and this stuff hasn't spread. The majority of the water they have gotten has come from the creek down there or come out of my well, one or the other. And what I got right here is some nice little Fiskars clippers. My buddy R.D. Long sent these to me. He saw what I was clipping everything with, so he sent me these little things right here, and they are sharp. Reach all down in the little bitty small spots, come right out with whatever you want. Just make sure you don't cut a cluster of tomatoes off of there. As I was going down this row, cleaning up the lower leaves, something started to unfold in front of me, and I started to see just how many tomatoes were out here. And the farther I got down the row and started looking back behind me, I'm not easily impressed these days with tomatoes. I've grown probably 40-50 different varieties over the last year and a half, and it takes right much to impress me right now. But I'll say this big beef right here, it is very impressive. There's a lot of tomatoes out here right now. So we're going to have plenty of tomatoes to give away, have some to sell, we'll have some to can. Everything is going along exactly like I had planned 18 months or so ago when I made my very first video. Let's go back to that very first video for just a second and see what I had to say back then. Primarily because the way the country's going right now, I just don't see people being able to afford to go out and buy groceries like they have been in the past. There's just too much debt out there right now. So I want to be able to grow food to take care of the people who live around here. So that was 18 months ago, and what has changed in 18 months time since December 2010? The federal deficit skyrocketing. $100 billion a month? No problem. Just keep printing that money. Somebody's going to pay for it sooner or later, but we ain't going to do it. Everything's fine in the world right now. Believe that. Look at the Supreme Court today. 5-4 vote. Obama's health care, no problem. We'll stick it on you anyway. Personally, I don't think the government should be able to go out there and mandate that you buy anything. Who's going to set the price on it? Who's going to be profiting from it? We're on a very slippery slope right now, headed straight downhill into the Grand Canyon. But my goal of being able to grow and produce food and feed the folks around here and as many other people as I could is right on schedule. I feel very comfortable with where I'm at right now and being able to provide for a lot of people. I've got a situation coming up July 3rd with Bear Prepper. She's starting a radio broadcast on the prepperbroadcasting.com 9 p.m. Tuesday night, July 3rd. And we're going to be talking about gardening and prepping and how those two are related and how people really need to start growing some food. I'll just say this, if you're a gardener and you've got a decent garden or you have the ability to start growing stuff, it'd be a real good idea to step it up some, maybe grow some more to help your family down the street, to help your friends and neighbors. Teach them what you know. If you're already an experienced gardener, share the knowledge, so to speak. If you're a prepper or somebody that can, knows how to stock up, maybe you can talk to the guy down the road who has a big garden, have him plant a few more extra rows and offer to can the stuff, go half with him or something like that. We got to work together to get this thing done. If you're into the guns and ammo and you are very adept and knowledgeable in that field, maybe you could teach a neighbor how to clean a pistol and reload it. Maybe you could show somebody down the road how to put a scope on a rifle and get it zeroed in. Share the knowledge that you have with somebody else and let's all try to get on the same page. It's that important right now. The writing's on the wall. I can read it. I'm sure a lot of you can read it. But the majority of the people in this country, they cannot read it because they got blindfolds on. and they're going to lead them just like sheep right over a cliff into oblivion. Don't be that person. You got 3 basic needs: food, shelter, and clothing. Primary one is food. Throw water right in there with it. You need to have a good water supply, and you need to be able to grow some food. That's what we're going to be talking about Tuesday night. You might not agree with me using Miracle-Gro. You might not agree with me planting hybrid seed. You might not agree with Tony Stewart. You might not agree with my Christian beliefs, but you have to agree right now 100% that it is in your best interest to learn how to grow and produce as much food as you possibly can and learn how to store it. Now let me show you these impressive tomatoes right here. This is pretty cool. Well guys, as you can see, everything is nice and wet now. Before I could finally get this thing situated, that cloud came up. We got a real nice shower of rain. But I'm going to tell you what, it's some tomatoes up under them vines. Just incredible how many is out here right now. I got all those blighted leaves off just in time. They're gone. So now I don't have to worry about this stuff splashing back up on everything else. And hopefully I won't have to do any more spraying. But you talk about some tomatoes, again, I can't believe how well these things are done right here. I mean, tomatoes hanging on there, pound after pound after pound. Amazing. I said I was not very easily impressed by tomatoes anymore. I felt like I had pretty much seen the best they had to offer. But I'll tell you what, these right here are very impressive. They definitely have my attention. Alright guys, I'm going to close it up right here. And once again, if you're a gardener, you can teach other people how to grow food, please do. If you have no idea how to grow a vegetable, a tomato, a cabbage, or something like that, please take some time and learn. The time is coming when you go to the grocery store and either you're not going to be able to afford what's in there, or there's not going to be anything in there, period. Learn how to grow your own food and you'll have a huge advantage on everybody else out there right now who has no idea what's going on. Hope to see a bunch of y'all July 3rd, 9 o'clock Eastern time. I'll take any question you got, do my best to answer it. I'm by far not a gardening expert. I don't have no sheepskin hanging on the wall, no, it's nothing like that. The only thing I have is the experience that I have learned with these 2 hands. But by the grace of God, I have been able to take this property right here and work this red clay and get it to actually produce a fair amount of stuff. And I feel like I am well on schedule of my goal of preparing to provide for a lot of folks. So y'all take care, and Lord willing, I'll see you next time.